I'm Landen Holloway, class of 2024, linebacker, DeVries High School, and you're listening to Playmakers Corner. Let's go, baby.
Hey everybody, it is your host for this episode, Cody Stoffer here, and you already know that we are continuing this avalanche of evaluations and interviews here. This interviewee is from Playmakers Corner, episode 320, the top 5 class of 2024 linebackers in Colorado. Go give that a listen and then double back. And, if you'd like to introduce yourself, where you're from, where you play football, and what position you play, go ahead and take it away.
I'm Landen Holloway. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I go to DeVries High School, and I play linebacker here.
Yes, sir, you do. And you blew us away in the very first game we got to see you was against Denver South. And that was basically the moment that, in my mind, I was like, yeah, this is a top 5 guy. This is a top 5 guy on our list. And, it's been exciting to kind of see how the season went from there. But, we'll get to all that fun stuff in just a moment. The first thing that we always do with these interviews is we give you a chance and give us a chance, as listeners, I should say, to relate to you, because whether you've played football, whether you haven't, at the end of the day, the people listening to this are probably a fan of sports in some kind of way, right?
Yeah.
And we just want to know, what's your favorite sports moment as a fan, whether this is a game that you saw live in person, this could be high school, college, professional, a game that you saw on TV where you're watching with your family, or it was just a very important team or moment to you. And this doesn't even have to be football. This could be any sport that just really, got you into sports, maybe even, and is just a permanent memory as a fan of, competition.
I'm going to go with a football one. So it was, I think when Marshawn Lynch played for the Seahawks and they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they're like on the 2-yard line, and like everyone's thinking they're going to run the ball. I was like, the Super Bowl part, I was like, they're going to run the ball. They're going to win the game. They threw a pass, and like the unknown dude from the, I think it was Malcolm Butler from the Patriots, he like knocked into him and picked the ball off. And then like he became like a somewhat big name. And I was just thinking like, wow, like an underrated person could go from being an unknown dude to being that dude in the biggest show, like the biggest stage of all time. On the biggest stage, he could like show his talents, show what he's capable of doing. And I was like, as a fan, because I was a diehard Seahawks fan at the time. So I mean, I was like, wow, he just beat my team. But it was like the level of competition that I seen, and I was like, one day, I want to get there myself.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. Wasn't he working at Popeyes like a month before or something crazy like that, I want to say?
Yeah. He wasn't, he was I think he's like like unsigned or something. He was like free something, like maybe it might be a free agent or undrafted dude. Like, and he just came in and just made a big play and just won him a ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's anybody's game at any moment, and I mean, he's going to live forever now. He's literally immortalized by that play. So, that's fun to hear. Now, you almost lost me when you was like, yeah, I was a Seahawks fan at the time. I'm like, oh, like as a Broncos fan, that's always reopening a wound a little bit after that Super Bowl. But the fact that you're in that spot and you're just like, game recognizes game, man. I mean, made the biggest play on the biggest stage. So I respect the heck out of that, and I love that as memory, despite it involving both the Seahawks and the Patriots. Not the most Bronco-friendly teams out there, but definitely teams that have a lot of story and history to them.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, and I can kind of hear some of the similarities that you were drawing, like that could be me, and drawing that comparison and, dreaming that, because you got to imagine it, you got to see it first, and then you got to go get it. And, I think that that's a similar mindset that we can have when talking about an individual's game. And I kind of want to know whether it was the past or present players. I just want to know, who are some guys or players that you've kind of tried to model your game after?
Well, growing up, I was like a big Ray Lewis fan. I was watching him hit, and I was like, I got to hit like him. He's lights out. So I was watching a little bit of Ray Lewis, And then like my favorite play in the league right now, like to watch is Fred Warner. He's just like a all around just great linebacker, coverage, run game. He's just there. So I try to like model my game off of Fred Warner, and then then this is my all time favorite player, Sean Taylor. Just a downhill coming down safety. Like I always wanted to play safety, but like I never like I played a little bit. Like I always wanted to play safety and just be just like Sean Taylor, just coming down, just knocking people out. You know?
Sean Taylor was him, that's for
Yeah.
sure. And as was Ray, and so is Fred now. And I think it's funny that you mentioned those aspects in your game, because I definitely see a lot of those aspects in your game. I mean, your hit power was actually not only the highest grade that I had for you as a player, but it was the highest that I personally had out of any of the linebackers. I mean, just the way you fly around the field, and Simon smiled upon it very favorably as well with, that 3-star grade. I kind of had it closer to that high 3, low 4. And, we definitely see that. And it's funny that you mentioned Fred Warner, because, I mean, when it comes to coverage linebackers, he's the gold standard, honestly, in the NFL now, as far as a guy who can make an impact on all 3 levels. And I think that that's something that can be reflected in your game very easily watching you. And, some of the crazy interceptions that you've had from this past season. I think of that one in the snow game, but I don't want to spoil too much, because I want to know, and I want the listeners to know, what your favorite memory is in sports. It could be one of those really cool interceptions. I don't know. It's definitely one of my favorite, or, any of those picks against South. But, whether it's football or anything, what was kind of the moment that you fell in love with sports and you knew it was something that you were going to want to do? Or, if it's a different memory or if it's the same memory, just your favorite experience, whether it was a moment, whether it was a play, whether it was, a part of a season or a revenge game. Just, there's so many options to choose from, I feel like, for you, especially because this final season here was just such a crazy one. But I'll stop yapping here and let you take it away on this one.
Man, there's a lot of moments, but I would say I'm gonna go with my like defining moment in high school football. I'll go there because if I go all the way back, I'll be going down memory lane. But my defining moment in high school was it was the first game of my junior year. So like my sophomore year, I played a little bit like here and there. I'll see the field like here and there, so I really like get to show off my talents and everything. So my junior year, it was like first game of the season. I was nervous because I was like for my first time starting. So I whipped a couple tackles. Then it was fourth down. It was like 4th and 2 on our like 3-yard line against Fort Collins. They threw like a screen pass, and I seen like the dude come in motion. I looked back at the quarterback to check. He caught the ball. He took like one step to the side, and then boom, I was just there. I lit him up. So I was like, man, like I could really do this. Like I could play high school football in the 5A division, the highest division, and excel. So after like I got that hit, it was just like a lot of relief off my shoulders, and I was just ever since then I just haven't looked back. I just been balling ever since, just playing to my best ability.
And your best is amongst the best in the state. And, this is on the heels of us, for the first time this year, watching some of the best in the entire country do it. And looking into our own state, we stack up pretty well. And you're amongst that. We actually had you ranked as, I want to say, like our number 4 guy, something to that extent. And, I kind of just want to get your reaction to our evaluation and some things that you agreed with, or maybe some things that you'd even want to provide some context to for our listeners based off the East Angels season.
Overall with the rankings, I was like pretty I agree with him. A number 4, I mean I don't like the number 4 like that, but I was thinking I was gonna be higher. But overall I think it was good. Like the speed, you guys said like my lateral speed and quickness, that's up there. I believe I worked on that very hard in my off seasons I'm not the fastest. I mean like 100 guys, I don't run the 100, but like 40 yards, I got you at 40 yards. Sideline, I got you there. Hit power, I think I was up there. I think it was like an 8.7 or a 9, I believe, somewhere around there. And the thing I believe you guys like sound like a pass coverage guru. And with the pass coverage, I mean, it was shocking because like I know how to read like passes very well and like know where the quarterback's gonna throw it. But I was gonna think like you guys were like say I was like a run stopper because mainly most of my like plays or highlights are like off of runs and pass coverage. It's like I just read it and drop back. But overall, I agree with the rankings and everything. It was pretty there. You know, I mean, there's always room for improvement, so I'm not gonna knock that. But I like to see other people's like view and aspects of me. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of it too is just kind of what we see across the board because I guess with us, versatility is like number one. And how many different places, if I'm a defensive coordinator, what are all the things that I can ask you to do? And I feel like a lot of middle linebackers, especially ones that we looked at, they kind of check that box of being able to stop the run and step up and fill lanes and stuff like that. So it's what sets you apart. And we definitely think watching your film that your ability to play the pass was so different and advanced. And if you look at, we don't release the full rubrics, but if you look at the biggest differences between the guys who made the list, the top 5, and the guys who didn't make the list, the biggest difference was pass coverage. How many guys could read a quarterback? They were in the right zone. They were able to pass off routes. They were able to receive routes that were being passed off and everything like that. And you had oh my gosh, we really watched a lot of these dudes. It looks like we watched like 23 linebackers, and we might have even watched more, but we kind of watched the film like scouts would, where it's like, all right, you have like a minute to like catch our attention, and then we'll watch the rest of it. Which great job on your film, by the way. Hey, listeners, especially younger athletes, if you're trying to build your film, build it like this guy here. So go ahead and find his film, watch it. You need to catch their attention early, and that's exactly what yours did, and exactly what you did in game 2. So, kudos to you for building it up the way that you did. And, I'd say we're very excited to see what's next. But, we want to know if you were, we've heard what our take was, right? And you've kind of put a little bit of your take in, but we want to hear if I was Landen Holloway's manager, right, in whatever universe this is, and I'm making a sales pitch to college scouts or coaches or anything like that. If I had to take it directly from the source, from you, what are 2 to 3 qualities or attributes that kind of separate you from other linebackers, whether it's here in Colorado or in the country, from your point of view?
So number one, like my coach was saying, like my old DC, he was saying like I have like a natural instinct just to fly to the ball. Like wherever the ball is, somehow, some way, I'm just there. It's just like naturally, I'm just there. Number 2, I would say, as an undersized guy, I don't like let my height like disadvantage me, and I still compete with probably the top in the nation. I'm competing with the nation. I'm just a dog overall, man. Like East High School wasn't East High School what it is now. I would say overall with me and my players and my coaches, we changed it around, and a big part of East changing it around was guys stepping up and leading. The seniors ahead of me weren't leading, but when it was my turn to lead, I took that lead and I was like, "Hey, I'm on the field. We're gonna win." That's as simple as that. You got to just be a dog, and I'm a dog. I'm a dog on the field, off the field, in the classroom. No matter what I do, it's just I'm a dog.
And that's what you need on the defense too, which by the way, shout out 3.8 GPA. Congrats on that, my guy. I mean, I was not floating around that GPA when I was out of high school. So shout out for being a dog in the classroom. You got to be a dog everywhere. You got to be a complete person, a complete package, a complete athlete to be on the next level. And I think that whatever coaching staff is fortunate enough to have you is going to get exactly that. And I'm glad that, in this imaginary world, that's a pretty easy sale for me to make to college coaches and stuff like that. But we'll talk about the recruitment and stuff a little bit later. But, I actually got kind of, enamored a little bit by you talking about the season, honestly. So before we talk matchups throughout the season, I actually want to talk about the season and, heading into the season, various expectations. I don't know if y'all caught our season preview. I want to say Coach V did that preview, and he was pretty high on y'all heading into the season. I don't even know if he could foresee how great the season was going to be, but I'd say that this was quite the opportunity for you guys, and I just kind of want to know, what were your thoughts heading into the season, and how did you kind of manage those expectations, and what was the offseason like heading into this past fall?
So heading into the season, we had unfinished business because like when I started my junior year, we were 0-5 coming out. There was close games that we should have won. We just didn't push through. And the weakness at East has always been our offense. For some reason, it's always been our offense. But I was like, if I got to go to offense and go score, contribute, I'll go do it. So my thoughts heading into the season, I was like, well, this is my last year. So, we didn't turn around the last 3 years, but we're going to turn around this year because I got to have fun. So I think week 1, we had like Westminster. It was a tough one, like first half. It was like 14-7. And in the locker room, it was just silence. Like everybody was like, it was over. The summer, we were like, we're going to beat them by 50. It's Westminster. It was just silence. I was like, we know we got to do. We got to come out and beat them by 50 now. So into the game, we beat them by 50. And then I was like, we're 1-0, something we haven't done in 3 years. We never started a year off 1-0. So I was like, man, y'all know what it's like to win now. So let's keep winning. And then the off season, I was just working, I was like, I'm not getting as many college looks as I like. I really wasn't even getting looked at for real in the summer. I was like, it's the last dance, so if I want to get looked at by these colleges, I can't sit and like pout about it because I'm not getting looked at. I was like, I gotta work. My dad, he has like a saying, it's like process 2024. He gave it to me when I was a freshman. He's like, it's the process leading up to you graduate. So whether it's in school, football, whatever, you gotta remember it's a process. So I kept that in the back of my mind, and I was like, I gotta keep going with the process, and eventually I'll get some results. And the results I got was a great season, some college looks, and the opportunity to play college football.
This season was legendary, historic, and I kind of want to just hear from your point of view. You talked about the locker room at halftime against Westminster, and I just want to know kind of what were the thoughts through the locker room, some of the highs, some of the lows, and just kind of the story of y'all's last dance, your own rendition of that Jordan doc here. And, it doesn't have to be week by week, but just kind of some highlights throughout the season that you want to take us through from the player's perspective. We'd love to hear it on the show and share it here with the listeners.
I just with thoughts. Like from day one, we were like, we're going to the playoffs. We're gonna do something that East hasn't done in, 15 years, I believe. It was like we're going to the playoffs no matter what. But the goal was like, we're going to go win state. We got the guys to win state. No one's in the way of stopping us, but we got to come out and play every week. So I'll say because we were 3-0, I believe. We beat Westie, we beat Smoky, we beat South, and then we hit homecoming game. And like we were all talking, we got this homecoming curse, and we can't win our homecoming game. So we had Rock Canyon. Homecoming game. We were up. Oh, no, it was 7-0. They scored. And then I went and ran it back. I scored a touchdown. So it was 7-7. We were up like 13-7, I believe, going into halftime. Or 13-7 before halftime. They had like the screenplay. It was illegal. The linemen were downfield. They scored off of it. And it was 13-13 going into halftime. And then eventually the game went away from us and we lost 14-26. So after the game, I was talking to the guys. I was like, this is the last time we're losing because, this sucks. It hurts. It hurts to lose games that you know that you can win. So I told him, this is the last time we're losing. Week 5, we played Pine Creek. It was a tough one. We were battling with Pine Creek. We're up there. We were competing with Pine Creek, number 2 team in the state at the time. We made them cause 6 turnovers on offense. 4 fumbles, interceptions, you name it. We're doing it. So I'm like, all right, we're in it, man. Like, we're in it. We couldn't get offense rolling. I was like, man, this sucks because like we have this game. So then we lost to Pine Creek 23-0. And I was talking to him again. I was like, all right, I know I gave this speech last week, like this is our last time losing, but I'm like, for sure, this is our last time losing. I don't care what we have to do, what we need to do, what more work we need to put in, like Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, whatever like day we play. It's like, well, I'm here to do it. Extra days, I'm here to do it. Whatever we need to do, it's gonna get done because we're not losing again. And ever since that day, like we worked harder. Our coaches, they seemed to transition. It was like a change. It was like a switch to just flip. We were just on it. And I was like, I mean, as a leader, as a team, I feel like I let you guys down because like I said we weren't gonna lose again against Rock Canyon, and we lost to Pine Creek back-to-back weeks. So I'm questioning myself like, what do I need to do better to better this team? But I mean, I sat back, I talked to my head coach and my DC, and I was like, well, I hate losing. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to get these guys right so we can win. So then when we ended the regular season 8-2, we didn't lose again. And then I just kept getting other leagues around and telling them like, we gotta keep this up, man. And it became playoff football time. I was like, we gotta keep it up. Now playoff football, I'll tell you that I haven't played a playoff game. I think my whole high school career. So that was tough mentally. Mentally, it was tough. Physically, I was in it. It was mental toughness that got me through that game because I was just sitting there like, man, it's a mental game now. Because like the tough part was week 1 through 10, but playoff it was mental. And then we played Pine Creek again, and it was like first play of the game, kickoff return for like I think he got like he almost took it back. I tackled him like on the 2, it was like a chase down. And I was like, oh, here we go again, like. And I wouldn't say like we backed down. It was just like they came out more prepared than us because they're a playoff caliber team. And they always go far in the playoffs every year. So they know how it is. We're all new to it, so we're all trying to adapt. In halftime, we came out and put up some points and put up a little fight. But it was week to week. It was we faced some things, ineligibility, injuries. We lost one of our. I think he was ranked on your guys' like top D tackles in the state, Elijah Goss. That was a tough one. Yeah, he got injured week 5.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah, dog. That's a dog right there. He got injured week 5, and I was like, how are we gonna shake back from it? Because like he was doing it for me. He's moving people out the way, causing double teams. I'm just fitting through the holes, getting tackles. So he was just there. I was like, I don't know how we're gonna shake back from it, but eventually, some younger guys stepped up, doing their job, and then we got the job done. We didn't end up with the result we wanted. We wanted to win state. We didn't win state, but we had a historical season. So I'm not satisfied, but I could be good with those results.
I mean, not only making the playoffs for the first time in a grip, but then you're winning when you're there. I mean, and you guys got a home game too for the first round, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a historical day. I was like, we're hosting a playoff game. This is crazy. It was a surreal.
Yeah, just the fact that y'all didn't even have to go on the road is wild.
Yeah, it was a surreal moment, and then that was the first time like a DPS team has beat Moen in I think forever, I believe, or yeah, forever, like in football. The DPS team has not beat Moen ever.
Woohoo! All right.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I knew that.
Yeah, we all found out like I think the day after the game. They're like, yeah, like in like the Denver Post or something. They was like, this is the first time a DPS team has beat Moen ever in football, playing against like a DPS team. I was like, wow, this is crazy. We just made history.
Yeah, y'all. No one can ever take history away from y'all, and I mean everything that y'all were able to accomplish. And I think it's interesting that you brought up, the turnaround and just everything about this season was so electric. And I kind of want to expand a little bit here on the difference of playoff football because I mean I've had some Creek guys on for interviews. I've had players like that where the playoffs for them it's just kind of for granted, honestly. But for y'all, it really took building that team, that camaraderie for 4 years, and punching that ticket and taking yourselves seriously. And I just kind of want to hear what all is different about playoff football in your opinion, whether it's the atmosphere or the stakes that kind of ramp it up, and how does preparation, do you think, look a little bit different for playoff football than regular season football? Or is it not as different as maybe someone would think?
I mean, practice was the same. I mean, the coach is preaching like this is day one. Like he was like, all right, so today's gonna be like, how do you say, like this is first quarter like on Monday, second quarter Tuesday, third quarter Wednesday, fourth quarter Thursday, and then Friday we played. So he was going by quarter, like a quarter system. So like day one, it was like, are we gonna win the first quarter or are we gonna get beat? We're gonna win the second quarter, we're gonna get beat. Win the third quarter, we're gonna get beat. So practice it was the same, but in the game time it was every down mattered. Every quarter mattered. We fumble the ball. It's like, oh, it's not like a regular game. Like, oh, defense is back out. We got to go do something so they don't score. So this game doesn't go away. Because I mean, it's win or go home. So it's like we lose this game, it's tears. My senior season's over. I'm never playing another down of high school football again. So I mean, it was just like a mental game. Like I would say, like before halftime, I was my head. It was on 10. It was pounding. I'm like having mental breakdowns, and my coach is talking to me. I'm crying. I don't know what's going on. The lights are getting brighter. Everything. I mean, the fans are getting louder. Everything's just getting like more compact and everything. So I'm like, oh, I gotta rest for a minute. Like, but then something told me in my head, I was like, it's do or die. So I gotta go one way or another. I gotta get the job done. So then eventually, I kept telling myself I gotta lock in. I locked in. And the offense started doing their thing. Defense started. We held them. And eventually, like it just clicked. I was like, all right, we could do this. Next round, we got this. So then eventually, got to the next round, and then we hit a roadblock. We overcame it a little bit, but I mean, we didn't get the final results that we needed. But playoff football is what you make it. So if you want to get beat out first round and get knocked out, then you will. But I mean, if you want to fight and your team realize that it's now a grown man's game, they'll get the job done.
Both things that I think are words of wisdom, for an East team that wants to make this a tradition. They want to make this a habit. They want it to, be in that situation where it's a business as usual, but it's important that y'all, kind of broke through, so to speak, that I guess glass ceiling or whatever you want to call it, and unleash yourselves upon the state and set history in all those different ways. And I love that you mentioned it is what you make it, because I mean at the end of the day, it's what is your investment, what does that look like on an individual level, and how is this going to help everyone else on the team, and how does that help us as a unit. So I think that philosophy applies all the time, but especially in the playoffs where it's like, all right, you might have been able to get by during the regular season, but you're not going to just be able to get by, with all these downs and how important every single one is. And this is not getting by. This is going out and taking what's ours. And I love the mentality that you have. It's like getting me hype. I'm like, man, I can't believe it's not football season right now. And it's getting me ready to run through a wall, but I'm like, damn, my team isn't in the playoffs right now. So
Yeah,
it has me ramped up. But I guess from your perspective, you've kind of already alluded to it a little bit as far as, what, some players have done, what you yourself as a leader did, and kind of the senior class. But I just kind of want to almost elaborate on that and just kind of ask your opinion. What separated this Denver East Angel team from your competitors, whether that's the Westminsters, even the Rock Canyons or the Pine Creeks or the Overlands, win, loss, draw. I just want to know what you think made Denver East different from the competition this year in 5A football or just in Colorado football, period.
I would say like never giving up, for real. In the past with East High School, I mean, we gave up. Like last year, we lost to South 50-0. We gave up first quarter. Joseph Capper ran for like I think 70 yards. It was like, yeah, it's game over. Fives, let's go home. Like we never gave up. we had some tough ones, like tough games. And I would say from a defense aspect, we was like the offense messed up. Oh, great, we back on the field. Like, let's go. Like, it's time to go get the ball back. It's time to have fun. So I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, I didn't really look into like a lot of teams this year. I mean, I looked into people we were playing, but I would just say never giving up. And we had some battles with East. I mean, all my years I've been here, I've been through new coaches, new offense coordinators, new defense coordinators. So I mean, that's one thing we could have faced, but we always like it was a system. Like they gave us like the platform for me, and we had to perform on it. Like, we had to perform on it. So just never giving up and just always just remembering like we're all some inner city kids. So we're not the Creek, Arapahoe, Valor. We're all Denver East. So and just remember like our school is historic. So I mean I guess we had to give the state a reason to make our school known for being good at football.
And that's part of the reason that I love this story so much and, why it felt so historic. And, I actually, this is a little off topic, but I had never been to East until I want to say like a year ago. And it was pure chance. Somebody asked me to judge like a speech and debate competition. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to keep it a buck here and just say that was kind of thrown to the wolves there. But just like seeing the history of the campus and feeling the history and just knowing how much that the school had seen change in the city of Denver and all the different people that came through it. And now to have that realized to the football side of things and to hopefully see this sustained as well. Because, I mean, there's still a ton of talent there even now. And, it's going to look different. But to have that happen, it just, it felt right. And I guess, like, you kind of alluded to it a little bit that you guys have to kind of function with that chip on your shoulder. And, it's not the same kind of look off the field as is on the field. And I kind of want to just give you some time and a platform here to, pump up East and just kind of talk about what's unique about East as a school, as a football team, and as a community. That's what I really want to know here is just like what makes being an East Angel so special to you, and why should people care about Denver East here?
I mean, at East High School, it's not like your typical high school. Like some people are like individuals, but I say East is like it's a social school. If you put yourself out there, you talk to people, everybody knows everybody. Like everybody's cool. We don't really typically have a lot of issues with our community, but we went through some tough things last year. We had like a lot of school shootings and everything, and I think it brought our community closer. Like because we realized like we're all we have. Like we all we got, we all we need. So I mean, being an East Angel is something to be most definitely be proud of. I think one of the richest people in America went to East High School. Actually, I think Robert F. Smith, the richest black man in America, went to East High School. So that's very historic right there. And it's the angel pride. It's just something you carry around. Like to be a Denver East Angel, it's a big thing. It's not what a lot of people could do. So to say you're an East Angel is very special. And for any kid that's interested in going to any high school, I say go to East, man. You're gonna have a fun 4 years. My time at East High School it went by pretty fast. I want to just go back to like I don't know sophomore year, freshman year, and just be that new kid on campus and just look at the school and be like, wow, I go to East High School now. But if any kid's interested in playing football, you want to get coached up by our DC Liabre McNeil. He's a great coach and a great guy, and he'll coach you up to the best of his ability. But I mean, yeah, it's East High School. It's East High School, If you want to be legendary, go to East High School.
Man, you got me ready to run through a wall here. Speaking of coach, this is way ahead. Like this is so far in the future. But would you ever come back to the game and coach?
Yeah, I got to. I got to come back to the game and coach. I don't know when, but eventually I got to come back and give back to the kids. Because, I mean, my dad, he coached me my whole life. And he was coaching before I was even born. He was coaching, I think, like 20 years ago. He coached Little League. And then eventually when I went to high school, he followed me to high school. But I mean, if I have a son, I most definitely want to coach my son because like just to give out that family love. And I would love to come back to my community, just to give back to where I was born and I was raised, just to give the kids opportunity to all the people that coached me gave me.
And they'd be absolutely lucky to have you. But we'll leave that way far ahead in the future. I'm kind of going all over the place. You got me super rah right here at 7:10 p.m. on a Thursday night. So shout out Landon here for bringing the energy on this interview. I'm having an absolute blast and appreciate you taking some time for it. And I want to give you a chance here. You shouted out the community, you've shouted out this squad and everything, but I kind of want to know, looking ahead to the future, what are some positives and, what are some lessons that you hope some of these younger players will take with them into next season? And on top of that, who are some players that we should keep an eye out for?
Some positives I would say we changed the culture. I would tell you the most definitely we changed the culture. That was our term my freshman year, CTC, changed the culture. So we changed the culture for the younger guys. So now they got to keep it up. Some lessons they learned. We know how to lose, most definitely. We know how to lose. So I mean, they felt that before, and they felt that pain, that urge to be like, man, like what's going on? So they felt the loss, they felt the wins, but now they know how to do both. So now they just take the wins and keep it up and just keep changing it. I mean, the culture's been changed, so keep the culture. Keep the culture around so the next guys and the next guys and the following generations could come to East, and be like, oh, they changed the culture in 2024 season. Let's talk about maybe I'll say 2030 or something like that. They look back at us and like, well, they did it. So say maybe East fell off there. They're like, well, they did it, so we can do it too. But like some guys I want you to look out for. Most definitely my guy, my dog, DJ Crow. That man's a dog right there. He's young, but like he a dog. Dion Giles Ray for sure. He's a safety. Elijah Let's Do It. He's safety and running back dog. Um, let's see what else. Um, Sean Campbell. It's a dog right there, running back. I think he broke 1,000. He broke the rushing record at East High School this year. He had like 1,200. So that's just a dog right there. And it's this transfer dude, J25, Jay Winston. He transferred from Oklahoma, and I was like, Oklahoma, like I don't know nothing about Oklahoma. Like I don't think you could play for real, bro. Came out here, he proved me wrong. He's up there with me. He became one of our team leaders. So I'm like, all right, he's a dog. He could compete. So those are the guys I want you to look out for. They got a bright future ahead. They got to just stay focused and keep working. Just know that the job's not done.
I didn't even know he'd be coming from Oklahoma like that.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, Oklahoma? Like, what?
Yeah, man, they get down for theirs out there. My extended family's from there, so there's not really too much to do out there other than be good at football, honestly. So, I'm glad that you got to see that, and that I think is a great kind of opportunity to crack open this can of worms here, and just say, obviously, you got to play with somebody from another state, and in your interactions and camps and playing against other teams that have guys from other states, and kind of seeing where football is at in Colorado. Do you think that Colorado as a state is overlooked compared to national talent?
Most definitely. I believe like Colorado, we have a lot of dudes, but like we're not like Texas or Cali or Florida, but like we're up there for sure. Cause like for example, Christian McCaffrey, that's the best running back in the league from Colorado. He might win Super Bowl this year. I mean, they might get beat by the Ravens in this bowl, but he's most definitely in the talking for MVP, and that's a Colorado guy. I just think that like people, I don't know why college coaches are like, and people in general don't look for Colorado athletes. I would say now it's getting better because I mean social media and everything, so you could like put yourself out there. But Colorado is most definitely overlooked for their athletes in all sports.
Yeah, I mean, we're a mile above everybody else. We're doing everything that we do with less oxygen. There's got to be something
Yeah,
about that calls out on the national level. And, CMC, he's somebody who, when I was in high school, gosh, this is going to make me sound like an old fart. Maybe I am, but it's just like seeing him dominate, it was like, oh man, not again. But now that he's doing it on the biggest stage, I'm like, okay, it's chill, it's fine, it's whatever, as long as he's representing. And there was that graphic also made about the college football playoff where there were a ton of Colorado guys on all those programs, mostly up front on the line, but a couple of DNs, a couple of tight ends, you know what I mean? Like there's guys making big impacts for big programs on the college level, on the NFL level. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, he's a dog. You also I always bring up Austin Eckler because he's actually from Eaton High School, just a small high school, went to Western and, was a Pro Bowl guy for a few years. So, we got it. They just gotta take a look. Just gotta take a look. So, but I do agree with you that it's getting a little bit better. And, some of these social media, you're able to advocate for yourself, but, I think that you also see some other talent and it just gives you more chances to compete, honestly. And, I'm almost working backwards a little bit here, but who are some guys that you didn't get to play against, if any, or a team that you didn't get to play against that you wish you had a shot at?
uh, for one team, I most definitely wanted to play Arapahoe for sure because I seen like they were competing up there with Creek. I wanted to play Creek also. I'm gonna say like specific player. My fault. I wanted to go against a few running backs. I wanted to go against Ant from Regis because I seen he was doing his thing. My guy Jordan Heron from Creek, he was doing his thing. He's been doing his thing, and those two. And I wanted to go against Legacy. I played Legacy my sophomore year, but I didn't really play for real. So I wanted to see how we line up when I'm actually on the field playing. Legacy, Columbine, because I know they had like that heavy run scheme. I want to see how we'll line up against that because like they run the ball heavy. So I want to see how we lined up against that. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah,
You
those are all
wanted a
the
piece of all the big dogs in state. I
yeah
respect it.
for sure.
Only one way to
Oh,
be the best, and that's to beat the best.
hell, I watched Grandview, but I wanted to play Grandview so bad. Like I wanted them to see us perfectly, so we played Grandview like first or like second round. I know a lot of guys on Grandview, and I think that would be a good matchup. East versus Grandview. That would be a dog fight.
Dang, that would have been a really good game, man. Sometimes it's like, obviously, you know, the seating index, it's going to do its thing. But man, if we could choose games based off of narratives, I kind of think of like, I don't think that the games lived up to the hype, honestly, from like Wild Card Weekend. But some of those storylines were going crazy, like Matthew Stafford's return to Detroit and stuff like that, man. Like, we just got to let narrative play just a little bit of a role. Those are a lot of teams that you didn't get a chance to play against, but you did play against a handful of dynamic, exciting players and teams and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, what were some of your favorite matchups from, this past season or your junior year, whether it was a specific player? It doesn't even have to be a name. It could just be a number, or it can be a specific name. Whatever works is good for me. Quarterbacks, running backs, or what were some great games that you just enjoyed, whether it was, an individual standpoint or just an entire unit that you enjoyed repping against?
So for first, I'm gonna go with Mason Miller from Pine Creek. I think he plays linebacker and running back, but it was always good to go against him because sometimes he'll get me on a little juke move, or I'll hit him in his lower legs, or hit him up top and get him. For sure. Going against, I guess, lining up against going against Mullen against AJ Gouda. I think you guys ranked him behind me, and I was just seeing. I know he has like I think he had more offers than me at the point in time, so I had something to prove that game. That was all in my mind. I got to prove to the state that I'm better than this guy. So I think we matched up pretty well. I don't know what the stats were for him, but and let's see who else. Oberlin's running back, Jarius Ward. He's a pretty downhill type of guy, so I had to stop his downhillness. I don't know if that's a word, but I had to stop him from going
I'm
downhill.
picking up what you're setting down.
Yeah, I had to make sure you pick up what I'm setting down. I had to stop him from being a downhill guy. I was like, that's not gonna work tonight, boy. So, him. Who else? Who else have I? Jarius Ward. So I have him. Oh, going against Pine Creek's O line. That was always fun. Cause like I would get them sometimes. I would get like their linemen because they're big. So I would just move around, finesse around, get around. They'd be like, "How did he do that? Like what?" So going against Pine Creek was always fun. Um, I don't think we haven't beat him yet. I'm gonna say yet because my guys in the future they're gonna go beat him. So we haven't beat him, but Pine Creek was always a fun game, very physical game. Rock Canyon, my junior year, that was a fun game. Because it was very physical. They ran like I don't know, like they ran like a bunch. It's like all packed in offense, like wing T, I believe.
Yeah, good old wing tee.
Yeah, and they pulled like weirdly, so I would just slip under and make the play. That was like my favorite game for my junior year. I think I had like 15 tackles, I believe. So it was a good game. We didn't pull it out, but it was a great game defensively for me and our team.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know that you mentioned wanting to play Columbine earlier. Rock Canyon was it's like Columbine 1.0, I guess. So just imagine that just ran a bit more efficiently because it's all that they do. So you kind of got to experience that a little bit. And I mean, those are some awesome games that you got to stack up against. AJ, yep, we had him just behind you. So, but I mean, both of you guys are gonna do your thing on the next level, and we're very excited to see all that. And I'm surprised you didn't throw in beating up on Denver South in
Oh,
one of those matchups.
oh yeah, that's always fun, because they talk stuff in the summer. And I was quiet. I was like, I have nothing to say. Y'all beat us 50-0. So like, I was like, just be prepared. Be prepared. Week 3, like I'm coming at it. South, that was a fun game. 'Cause I was like, that was like one of my best games this season against my rivals. So I was just thinking, like, I was like, either we lose again or this could be the best one. So
And
that was,
another kind of streak snapping win too. That's another history maker right there.
yeah. It's always good to be South. Every in any sport. Just you be South, it's like you just like they say like Denver bleeds purple or something like that. Denver bleeds red. Denver bleeds red. East High School, that's what Denver bleeds red, not purple. We own all city.
Hey, and being the football podcast here, that is true right now. So that holds true until the next matchup, and we'll see what happens next with some of those guys that you shouted out and how that team plays next year. And obviously in the other contests, that's a fun rivalry that especially now that South is moving up to 5A, that I'm excited to, or I think they're moving up to 5A. They should
Yeah.
be according to like projection or whatnot, but that should be an exciting thing to keep track of going forward, and it should be a game that happens a lot more often because I think Colorado needs more rivalries like that, and get that back and forth this year, that year, and duke it out for the title of All City and whatnot. And in your time, you shouted out some great names and some great matchups. Who would you say between your junior or senior year, it could be either one, might be the most underrated player that you went up against?
This is a tough one. Underrated. Oh, ooh, junior year we played. We played a lot more comp though. Oh, Westminster's quarterback, Mason Kiewit, I believe. Underrated. I give it to him. That kid's a dog. Every year we had him on the ground, hurt, get it. He would get up every time and go run for like 30 yards or go throw for maybe he'll get lucky and throw a little quick pass, long pass. He might score a touchdown right here and there. But he's very underrated and he's just overall dog. He could run the ball on you. He can throw it very well. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. He's like a Lamar Jackson, a little Lamar Jackson kind of. That's the comparison I'm gonna give him.
All right. We're excited to see how he lives up to that his senior year, man. Shout out Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of our offensive playmaker of the year candidates, and we're excited to see what he does with that senior year. And I mean, you guys definitely didn't take it easy on him. He had
No,
his work
not at
cut out for him.
all. Not at all.
But that was kind of the story for anyone that y'all played against, and once again, just an awesome, awesome season. And now that we've kind of talked about all of that, I kind of want to turn the focus back to you a little bit and just kind of hear, your recruiting journey, kind of what that has looked like and some things that you've kind of learned along the way here.
So to start my recruitment started, I would say, I believe, end of my junior year. I went to I was getting looked at from first I was getting looked at from Drake University. So I went out to their camp and I did pretty well. And cause this Final Four linebackers are defense wise, they just pick people. So top four. So they picked me. And I went out there, I covered pretty well. And I didn't hear back from him. So I was like, all right, I guess I did good. I'll just keep, maybe I'll hear something, maybe I won't. And the coach was like, I'm gonna hit you back eventually. So I was it was kind of up and down. I'm going to all these camps and everything, and I'm just I want to hear something. I'm going to my senior year. I'm not hearing nothing. So it was kind of up and down. It was very stressful because I'm seeing all these other guys get offers and get looks, and I'm in my mind, I'm better than them. I deserve these looks also. So it was rough. But I mean, I can't control what other people do. I only control what I could do. So eventually, I started getting more texts when my season started, and I was posting I was promoting myself on Twitter. My coach was promoting me to coaches that he knows and everything, and I was just posting my highlights. They're like, "Man, this is crazy. Why aren't they recruiting? Who's talking to you?" I'm no one. No one's talking to me. So I posted my highlights. I think the Drake coach, he's like, "Man, this is insane. Can you come out for a game day visit anytime soon?" So he sent me the dates out. I went out there. I believe October 7th or October. I had a game October 6th. We played Doherty. We beat them 21-0. I had to catch the last flight of the night on a red eye, so I had a 3-hour layover in Detroit. So I didn't get to Des Moines, Iowa till 9 a.m. The game was at 11. So I went straight from the airport to the game. Freshened up in the airport, and then went straight to the game. And as soon as I got to the game, he was it was a relief. I walked up, they're like, "Oh, you're the linebacker from Colorado." I was like, "Oh, they actually know who I am. They know who I am." So I mean, that was great. The game that went good. They won. They beat Valparaiso, I think by a touchdown. And after the game, I was just sitting around, just chilling. He was like, "All right, come into my office." And he was like, "I like you a lot, and I like what you do on the field. I think you'll be a great fit for our program." And he's like, "I would like to offer you a scholarship, a scholarship." I was like, "Oh, this is big!" It was crazy, and it was Division I. Also, I was like, "This is big." I mean, it was a feeling I never felt before. My whole junior and senior, I was questioning, well, I have the opportunity to play college football, or I'll just be that guy that was known to make plays and just didn't go make plays at the next level. So it was an up and down process, but I mean, throughout the whole time, I learned that if I just keep working, the things that's gonna come eventually. Now I put my trust in God and my coaches and my parents and my trust in myself to never give up and just keep going.
I appreciate you taking me through not only the game day experience of literally playing a game, but also the game day experience of going there, and that it's not for the faint of heart. If that's what the recruiting process is like, where you got to go straight from a game to a red hour or to a red eye flight to, right out of the airport to a game, you got to be locked in and you got to want it. And, you being able to make that work obviously shows that you want it. And, that's only part of the process. And to get the opportunities that you have had is just awesome. And, I guess what are some things that you're kind of looking for from a school or a football program? Like, what are some priorities that you got?
I'm looking for like a winning culture, of course, because I didn't come from a winning culture. I mean, now we're a winning culture, but I'm looking for a winning culture, a program that I can fit into. Like, I mean, off the rip, I gotta have trust in the coach, and the coach has to have, I gotta know the coach has anything in his power to have my best interest in what I do. Also, I mean, a group of guys that just want to go get it, because like I would say one thing about East in my prior years, we just had guys that just said like, "Oh, I just play football. Like, I'm on the team. I'm cool." We didn't have guys that just want to go out there and just be like, "I'm proud to play football. Like, I love the game." And just, yeah, I gotta be surrounded by some guys that just are some dogs ready to work.
You got to find that fit. And, everyone's looking for something a little bit different. And, that home is waiting for you somewhere, and we're very excited to see what you do on that next level and for the opportunities that you're going to have. And with your versatility and your athleticism, man, I mean, who knows when and where that first opportunity is going to come as far as when you get on the field. But, I definitely think it's going to be there. Your next level guy, next level athlete. And, we're excited for that. But, I want to throw in a fun question here a little bit before we talk about goals and stuff looking ahead. But, with NIL being the biggest deal that it ever has been, is there like an ideal NIL or brand deal that, would be like your dream deal, whenever you get onto campus?
I never thought of this one. I don't know. I don't know if Disney's still around. Like, I mean, if they still show it. I was a big Disney kid when I was growing up. Like, I would love to like be on like a Disney like commercial or NIL, anything that Disney could offer, and just have my face on that. You know, so I'll be living out like my childhood dreams, just to be on a Disney television show. I don't know if Disney still comes on because I don't watch it anymore. But I mean, if I get on some Disney, that would be crazy.
Hey, we'll be looking for that TV cameo, but I mean, so far you're passing the vibe check on the radio here. So, we're going to feel free to use this as the tryout here. So,
So, like, get at me,
you got to plug this. This is the audition tape right here.
I'm going to need Disney to get at me, If they need my number, I'll put it in there. 720-589-2132. Disney, get at me.
You already know. Oh man, you're gonna get the mouse. He's gonna pick up the phone. Oh man. But well, if you do get that deal, remember that first idea sprung about here. So look for the Playmakers Corner segment right after Landen's own show. Oh man, but looking back at the football aspect here, I mean, what are some goals or your outlook for college ball, and what kind of things are you going to be working on this offseason to get ready for that?
Well, my all-time goal is just to play in the NFL. I mean, no one in my family has played in the NFL. My dad, he played college ball at JUCO level. I mean, he got hurt eventually, so then he didn't want to go play ball at Prairie View. So I mean, just take off when my dad left and just excel. I want to be like that guy like, in my family, like Landen. He did that, and like everybody else that's coming around, like they're gonna look up to me. Like he did it. He said he was gonna do it, and he did it. My off-season goal is to get stronger and faster. I think I'm at a good speed, but there's always room for improvement. So get stronger and faster. And I mean, I don't know what to expect like for college, like a college body. I mean, not a college body, but like a college system. So I mean, just asking people around that like already been to college. Like my speed coach, he went to CSU. His name is Dow Woods. So he went to CSU. So I always ask him like, what can I do to prepare for college? So he's like giving me different like speed and agility and explosive workouts and everything like that, and just hitting the gym harder than I know it's been. Because I mean now it's getting real. It's not high school workouts. I gotta hit it hard. I gotta get stronger. I gotta work. I gotta train for college. So on day one, I'm not messing around, looking at a place, looking like I'm just here. I gotta be there to handle business.
Those are all good plans and strategies to get locked in. And, we're rooting for you all the way to make it there. So, when I have an interview with somebody else here, maybe you'd be like, yeah, man, Landen Holloway, I've been watching his film and he's about to be playing in the Super Bowl. And, that'd be a really cool conversation to almost have and give me like wild deja vu and probably give me a little bit of whiplash from the very own desk chair. But, I think that those are awesome. And, it's fun to see kind of where you're heading. And, we're recording this on January 25th. And, I might be a little too curious, but, do you know where exactly you're going for sure yet? Or we just got to wait for that? We got to get the popcorn ready.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm winning in between two places. But I mean, I don't release the two places, but I'll probably make my decision February 3rd or on signing day, actually. But I'm gonna initially make my decision to the college beforehand, just announce it publicly.
Okay, I see you. I mean, you're a theatrical guy here, so I'd expect nothing less than making a show out of it. He's a showman. This is how you get onto Disney right here. This is the tryout as well. So it's a plan. It's in phases here.
Yeah.
Oh man. But we're definitely stoked and looking forward to that announcement here. And I think it's going to be funny. I don't know exactly when this comes out, but I'm going to laugh extra hard if it comes out afterwards, because it's just going to be like, wow, this guy was really asking where he's going. Doesn't he already know? So that's why I got a date drop that it's the 25th of January, folks. I did not know. You got to listen to the whole thing here, the details here. But we're going to reel it back just a little bit. And actually, we've been looking ahead, looking to the future, talking about all that. And we're going to shoot it all the way back to the past here to freshman year. I don't know if that's going to be a good or bad thing here, but I just want to know, what are some things that you would tell freshman Landen here about, whether it's football, whether it's recruiting, whether it's like relationships, being, like with friends, family, whatever, or academics? What is something that you would tell yourself, man?
For one, I'll tell myself that you have better days coming, because freshman year practice they were rough. I was very lazy, because I was just like, I'm coming out of 8th grade, like I'm a kid, like I'm doing it, man. So like it was a reality check, I would tell him, like, there's better days coming in school. Keep school very important. Freshman year grades matter. Like I think those are like your most important grades, because that's like the start, that's like the baseline. With friends, they come and go, but keep the ones around that are truly invested in you and making you a better person. With family, remain like close with them, because in a couple of years you're probably you're staying in state, but you're gonna be on your own. You have to grow up. So family is very important, and just keep your head up, because like life it's a beautiful thing, and it could be taken away from you at any time, at any moment. So just value every moment like it's your last. Keep trusting God, and just I'll say just live out every moment, because it's gonna be a time where it's gonna be tough. You gotta look back at the times when things were great, and just remember that moment and just keep it with you to get through the tough times.
And I can appreciate that that's not just, specific advice, but that's great advice for anybody, anytime, everywhere. And, I think that that's just a great reflection of who you are as a man, and, as a reflection of this community that you come from and this place that you've called home. And, I think it's going to, I feel like that same message is going to be the same thing that gets you through, this commitment and through your college career and so on and so forth. That is good anytime, anywhere, any age. So I respect the hell out of that advice and appreciate you sharing that, as well as everything that you've shared on this episode, man. This is legitimately one of the most fun interviews that I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of. And, I thank you so much for joining us, but I also want to give you a chance, and you've already done it, throughout this episode and whatnot. So I want to recognize that, but I want to kind of open the floor, so to speak, on your gratitude and the people that have made it possible for me to have this version of Landen Holloway on the show and represent the state and everything like that. Whether this is friends, family, coaches, teachers, fellow players, just anybody who's been important to your journey, whether it's athletically, academically, emotionally, what have you. I just want to know who's been some important people in your story, man.
Oh, well, first off, I want to give a big shout out to my parents. Without them, I wouldn't be talking to you right here today. They created me, so I'm gonna give a big shout out to them. My dad, since day one, I mean, since I was 4 years old, he put a football in my hand and he was like, "Go run with it." I ran with it. I fell in love with the game, and he's like, "Well, if you want to take it seriously, I'm not gonna let you slack." Like to this day, I work out with him to this day still. If I'm slacking, he's like, "Dude, like you're just wasting my time now. I'm taking time out of my day to make you better, and you're wasting my time." So I mean, that's one of my biggest people. I do it for him mainly because I'm finishing off where he left off at, and he's one of my biggest supporters. It's like it's tough love, Like he's hard on me, but he's hard on me for a good reason. 'Cause if he's not hard on me, then no one else would be hard on me. And my mom, she's like kind of like my agent, Like she's not like the relationship I have with my dad. She can't have it because like she's not like my coach and everything, like a father figure. So I mean, she does her part. She molded me into a great young man, and she's like just the other side. So like when stuff's rough, I'm frustrated. She releases my frustration. She tells me like valuable things like with recruitment for a reason. She's like, "Are you gonna sit here and be bummed because the coach didn't text you back, or are you gonna just keep working at it and keep working, and then eventually he's gonna text you back because you got to look at it as you're the prize, and you're what they need to make their program better." Another big person is my defense coordinator, Liabert McNeil. He's seen it in me since day one. He's seen something that most people didn't see, something I didn't even see in myself. He's like, "You're a baller. You can play regardless." I mean, freshman year, he's like, "You should be on varsity." Like, I don't know why you're not. I don't know why you didn't play varsity your sophomore year. Because he was at the time he was our DB coach, so he wasn't like the head. So then my junior year, he was like just telling the state like, "Yeah, watch out. I got this kid coming. Like he's here." And everything I done, like training, off season, I hit him up, Coach Lee, let's go work out. Like he's yes, like I'm here. Like let's go. Let's get it done. He's all about work. I went to this leadership academy called PBLA, Porter Billups Leadership Academy. So like Billups, Chauncey Billups, he comes every summer. So like that, it was like it's like every summer for like 3 weeks we learned about like leadership, like qualities and everything. And it's like people consider like summer school, like when I was a kid, like younger, like fourth grade, you have to go from like fourth grade to like get into so fourth grade to 12th grade or 11th grade, going to your summer of your 12th grade year. So yeah, people like I view this as a summer school. I hated it. I was like, man, I'm in summer school. Like my friends are like having fun at each other's houses, playing video games, blah blah blah. They're just having fun. I'm like, I'm at this school, man. So like I hated it at first, but then like I grew like a lot of love for it because I'm like, wow, like this is like really teaching me things that other people aren't like telling me, molding me into like a young man. And I'll give like a huge shout out to Lonnie Porter. Well, I call him Mr. Porter. He coached at Regis High School. Mr. Porter. Um, he's like most definitely like a father figure in my life. I mean, I have a father, but like he's like another father figure I look up to. He's always like giving out to the community and reaching back to do something for someone else. And like just one day, I want to be able to like give the opportunity to kids that some kids that aren't less fortunate that like don't have the money to go to college, and eventually from the program at PBLA, they give you the opportunity to earn a scholarship from Regis University. So after you like graduate from the Leadership Academy, they give you the opportunity to get your school paid for. So Mr. Porter, he's a big impact in my life. Without him, I don't think I would be as successful in sports, talking to people, being able to communicate, network, in school, just like knowing how to like address the teacher the right way, hold a door for like the ladies, when I'm talking to someone, look them dead straight in my eyes, like a friend grip handshake, you know, and just like things about like life. Like he's talking about like when you want to get a job, you don't want to talk to somebody at an interview and you're looking, let's say, at the window and they're looking at you. You're not gonna get hired, you know. So it's just like simple things like that that molded me into a young man, and I just appreciate everybody that was talking to me, leading me throughout this path, and I love them. I love them all. I just hope they could just keep doing it for like the younger people, because we're gonna need a lot of young men in this world that are the difference makers and game changers.
And playmakers, both on and off the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just sounds like you had so many pillars of excellence, in your life and in and around your life. And, I want to extend my gratitude from myself and everybody else on the podcast for helping make up the person that I'm talking to right now over this interview, and, express our gratitude on our side for all of them, and, appreciate you as someone who I think is becoming that pillar of success and has all the tools to do so both now and heading forward. So I appreciate everything that you are and everything that has made you up, man.
Thank you.
So, but that was the big kind of send off, the big last question. We always think it's important, because I mean, football is a team sport, and we think, whether it's an individual or anything else, that some of the best things that we have come from, a group effort, a team effort, which is, you highlighted a few people here, just like we highlight different players. And, I was always of the fan growing up, in kind of a unique situation with younger parents and people that were trying to figure it out in, such a communal way. And just the idea that it takes a village. It takes a village to solve problems, and it takes a village to raise someone outstanding. And I think that your support system has done just a magnificent job of that. And we are so excited to see and cover your story heading forward. And, I think that the listeners, I mean, if they're not on the Landen Holloway bandwagon by now, after the coverage this season, after the top 5 appearance, and after this interview, well, we don't need them. But the ones who want to continue to hop on here, where can they find you on your socials, my guy? Go ahead and get yourself a plug here.
You can find me on Instagram at my name exactly, Landen Holloway, no spaces. It's LandenHolloway. I mean, if you want to text me and talk about anything, I'm willing to talk. You can hit my number at 720-589-2132. And just that's my direct contacts. I check my email, here and there. I mean, I get a lot of emails daily, so it might pop. I might see a name and it might pop up, and I'll be like, oh, all right, let's see what they email me. But my email is LandenHolloway1@gmail.com. So I mean, if you want to talk about anything, I'm willing to talk. Just want to provide for the youth and just be that person, that outlet that they could talk to about anything.
Heck yeah, man. And if you don't know where to find his number as well, it's also on your Twitter, man, Landen_Holloway as well. So, really easy guy to reach here, and, really easy guy to talk to as well, and really easy to set this interview up. Thank you for finding time once again, my dude.
Yeah, most definitely. But before I get off, I got to say one thing. So I didn't know I broke the tackling record at East High School. I currently hold it. It's 177 tackles. So that's big. I just found that out today, actually. I thought,
okay, yeah, there's another plug. History, part 70 on this episode.
Yeah, history. So, yeah, I hold the tackling record at East High School, 177. So, I mean, I know eventually it might get broken, it might not, but, I want to hold it for long as possible.
I was about to say, does that get to go in the Twitter bio? I feel like it should.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I just found it out today, so that's most definitely going in the Twitter bio.
We're looking forward to that update here, and we're excited for you to continue to set history and be a trailblazer everywhere that you go.
Yes, sir.
And to hear more stories like Landen, or to hear Landen's full film breakdown, go back to episode 320 and for other interviews and whatnot. Be sure to listen to us anywhere that you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're also on YouTube under Playmakers Corner on all of those. Follow, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, whatever the jam is on that specific platform. Do it. We also got clips of Landen's game here. He was kind of referring to them a little bit earlier, as well as, clips from this very interview will be posted to our social medias, whether that is at Playmakers Corner on Instagram, at Playmakers Corner on TikTok, and also on Twitter/X. We're at Playmaker Corner. And go ahead and follow the guy on all of those as well. My dude, Landen Holloway, thank you so much for representing Colorado and for being a great guest on this interview.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, and I have been your host for this episode, Cody Stauffer, signing off.